All right. Hello, everyone. How you doing? This is Marlon Hurd, and I want to welcome you to this webinar, The Four Master Steps to Financial Freedom. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some great information in regards to just some things that you can start thinking about, start changing your mindset around when it comes to creating financial freedom for yourself. There's a lot of people out there who are working towards that and or trying to come up with an idea of how they can make it work for themselves. But I just got to give you some things that you all can think about. Just really a place where you can really start building a foundation. And these are things that I just learned over the years since I've been in financial freedom training, so to speak. But just going to be some great information you can share, you can learn, you can share and master. And here we go. I'm really excited to be sharing this with you. Over the last since 2002, since I've been involved in the financial freedom industry, or just that industry where those individuals are taught how to do this. I've always wanted to put this together to give you all what worked for me. And you could use it all. You could take pieces out of it and use it for yourself, or not use it all. But keeping the information to myself is definitely something that was not going to be fair to anyone. So here we go. All right, make sure you get this up here. All right. So what is financial freedom? And this is just my definition of it. And it says, I believe that financial freedom is having an income that comes to you passively that exceeds your total expenses, with exceedingly enough left over that allows you to live how you like without worrying about where the income is going to come from or the cost of said lifestyle. All right. That's what I believe financial freedom is. I know it's this elaborate definition, but I was trying to come up with something, really professional. But but basically that's what it is. Just really living the lifestyle that you want to, and having enough income to be able to afford it without worrying about the bills. And the thing about bills is that bills are always going to be around. Even people that are financially free, they have bills. Okay, so but just really having that freedom to do what you like. Financial freedom is also a mindset. You don't get what you want, you get what you picture. And many people are not where they want to be financially because they can't picture themselves there. They've been beat down so much by life, and not having what they want. And so they see is what's in front of them. They see the bills, they see the debt, they see the struggle, and they really can't see the financial freedom in out there, and because they've been beat down by life so much. So most of us are financially free because we can't picture ourselves being there. So financial freedom eludes so many every single year. And I watch what individuals are doing nowadays, and what they're saying, and what they're spending their money on, what they're focusing on. I'm like, man, if we could just turn back the clock, the hands of time, and really start to share this information with individuals, when they're in their formative years, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, when they're really starting to kind of come into their own. We could really start implementing some of these techniques, so that as they grow, these techniques grow with them. And so there's so many people out there, they can wish they can live how they want to, no boss, no worries, carefree. And we're all looking to get to that area. So I'm going to be sharing some things tonight that could help you with that. Okay. So why is financial freedom such a challenging thing to gain? Maybe, just maybe, none of us were taught how to be financially free. Okay. Most of us, I would say 90% of us, were taught not to be free. Most of us were taught to get jobs and pay bills. Period. That's all it is. You know, you better get that. You better graduate high school so you can get a job. You better go to college so you can get a better job. And then after that, it's about paying bills. That's all it is. Creating bills and paying bills. Okay. So slavery is a real thing. And I don't mean the physical slavery. I mean the slavery of the mind. Ever since we were 5 years old, we were taught to be slaves. All right. In some way, shape, or form, being dependent on someone else for income. And when you depend on someone else for income, they control everything in your life. So we're going to give you some things that can help you with breaking free of those chains. And one thing that I remember, I'm gonna go to one of the greatest freedom fighters back in the day was Harriet Tubman, and she said that I could have freed more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. All right. A lot of people don't know that they're in bondage, and bondage in the mind, and they just don't realize it. I've shared a lot of this information with individuals, and some of them just don't believe it. Oh, that's not real. Oh, that stuff only works for them, and I don't know anybody doing that, but they just don't believe. They just don't believe or understand that they're the ones in bondage. So hopefully some of this information I'm sharing with you all, you can take it, share with other individuals so they can be free as well too. All right, so here we go. Well, here's a little bit about myself. All right, just a little bit of information about me. I've been in network marketing since 2002. I built several teams into the thousands. I currently hold a corporate position within the company. I've had consistent 4-figure and even 5-figure months in in my business and in this financial freedom process, and married with 4 daughters. As you can see, that's me and my wife right there. Those are my 4 daughters. Okay. As you can see, that's my alma mater back there in the back. And this is just me here on the stage. And this one of the many times I've been on the stage, being awarded in this industry of network marketing. And it was at this event or event like this where I looked out into the crowd and said, man, what can we do to help those people out there who will never or may never get to the stage? And it really bothered me. There's always like a small group of people who make it to the stage and a large group of people who don't. But it could be due from the activity or the decisions. But even those individuals who don't make it to the stage, what can we do to give them so that whatever that amount of income they're earning can still benefit them? It can still help them get to that freedom status. Okay. So, but things weren't always peachy keen for me. I've had 2 cars repossessed, which was crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. You see that stuff on television and it looks funny, but when it's happening to you, it's not funny. All right. My bank account's been in negative many times. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure it out. Almost lost my family. It was crazy times. And then one day it just all came together. And I said, why not share what I've learned? I had a mindset shift, and thanks to a lot of my mentors out there, they really helped me with that mindset shift. And I started learning how to share value, and it really changed my approach when I'm sharing what I do with individuals, because I'll say, hey, if I could share with them my story or the value that I've learned, they'll be like, wow, how can I be a part of that? And then within that process, be able to teach them how to become financially free. So so I started on that journey, and that's how we came to the 4 master steps of financial freedom. So step number 1 is getting your income on a plan. Okay, most people are on what we call the non-plan plan. It's they don't have a plan. After people pay bills, most people really don't know what to do with their income. So many misspend it, and most are living for the weekend or living check to check, and they're spending money on things we call doodads. One of my mentors, Robert Kiyosaki, he wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't read it, make sure you pick it up. But he mentioned things called doodads. It's things that just don't make any sense. And the plan that many are taught is just to make sure that the bills are paid, right? Don't do anything different. Don't take any risks. Play it safe. And, but many go into debt attempting to live the free life, but what they don't understand is that they're creating their own demise. All right, because they're not on a plan. Once they get that degree or that diploma, there's no plan after that. I know most people aren't. They're not even taught. How to balance a checkbook. I don't even know if anybody's doing that anymore. Or taught about credit or interest rates or how to buy a home or your credit score or what have you. These things are important when you're getting out there in life, but it's not being taught. Those things aren't being taught. It's still being taught to make sure the bills are paid, make sure you have that job, and then after that, everything else goes out the window. So let's talk about getting your income on a plan. And the name of this process is called financial defense. One of my mentors shared this with me years ago, financial defense. And I said, man, if everybody had this process, oh my goodness, it just will put you on a different mindset, different plan. So you look at your income a little different. All right. It's not about getting the fanciest things or living for the weekend. It's about getting yourself to a place where you are comfortable. And so what I show people in this process is, write down your income, write down all your expenses that you have every month, write down your total debt, including your home. All right. Your home is not an asset. It's a liability, for most individuals. And then write down what we call your emergency fund. And your emergency fund is 6 months worth of your expenses. Okay. It's anywhere, 6 to 8 or 12 months, however you want to do, but at least 6 months. Okay. Now, the thing you want to do is get 10% of your income. All right. 10% of your income, and you want to put it to the side. And the reason you want to put it to the side is you want to be able to use it to pay down debt and use it to put towards your emergency fund. So in the financial defense process, where at the end of this presentation, you're going to learn how you can get access to that. But that's what you want to do. You want to put 10% aside. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, Marlon, where am I going to find 10% of income? I'm living, just by the skin of my teeth. A lot of my expenses are above my income. So what you want to do for at least 30 days, write down everything you spend money on. And if it's not conducive to your new plan, then stop spending money on it. There's some people who go golfing every Saturday. Well, hey, why don't you cut back to 2 Saturdays a month? All right. Instead of going 4 Saturdays a month, go 2 Saturdays a month, and cut back on that. And you don't have to do it forever, but while you're in your plan, okay, then yes, it's gonna have to be some cutting back, because guess what? You have 2 things right here that you need to take care of: that debt and building on that emergency fund. All right. Also, what you want to do is create yourself an additional income source. So because for most individuals, your income comes from your job, and the job income is very limited. All right, very, very limited, and it's only so much you can do to increase it. Someone else controls that. So getting an additional income source coming in can accelerate these 2 processes. All right, accelerating the paying out of the debt and accelerating of the building of the emergency fund, which are very important. So creating yourself an additional income, and in the financial defense training that you'll be able to have access to here at the end, I'll show you how to have access to here at the end. It's going to give you, you're going to have so much information with that. You're going to have an Excel spreadsheet, which we call the Financial Freedom Income Calculator, where you put the numbers in. It's going to pop everything right out for you. So this right here, step number 1, having access to this training is going to completely change how you see everything. Completely change it. So this is Kendall. Kendall's a business owner. He owns his own music business, but he also works full time. Okay. And his goal is to be able to do his music business full time. So Kendall got the 4 master steps to financial freedom. He got the whole package, and he got his income on a plan. And he says he can think clearer now, and his vision has become clearer as well too, because he now has a plan to follow. So I'm definitely happy for Kendall. It's a pleasure to be working with him, and I'm definitely glad that he is on board with this process. All right. Okay, so step number 2, and this is something that's a little bit more U.S. specific, but getting you more money back on your job paycheck. One small change can equal big results. Now, this right here, like I said before, is a process that's a little bit more U.S. specific. Take what you can from this. Like, if you don't live here in the United States where I live, take what you can from this process, because there's gonna be some good things in here, and apply it to where you are. But this right here this right here blew a lot of people away when they learned about this process. When they learned about this, and they got the entire training program, they said, "Oh my gosh!" They had no idea that this is something that they can do. All right, they had no idea this is something they can do. So for most people, on their paychecks, their biggest bill is taxes. We're taxed on everything on our paychecks. Taxes are taken, not paid. All right, even before you get your money, taxes are already gone. All right, and the amount of tax you pay depends on your tax bracket. And we're not going to get into that. That's something completely different, completely different training. But there's a small change you can make that will allow you to pay less taxes from your paycheck. Now, this right here is going to blow a lot of you away, especially individuals that are still working full-time jobs and looking to move themselves onto that freedom level. Now, there's a form called the W-4, and that most people sign when they start a job. Okay, when you get started a job, you get your you have W-2 income, but you fill out a W-4, and it just talks about your exemptions. Well, the W-4 decides how much tax is taken from your paycheck or kept on there. All right, again, it's called exemptions. Well, if you didn't know, there's a change you can make on your W-4 when you get more on your paycheck. I pay less in taxes on your paycheck. All right, when I found this out, I was like, OMG. I was like, oh my goodness. Everybody needs to know this. When I found this out, I couldn't believe how awesome this process was. And it's available to everybody. Everybody that, especially if you live here in the United States and you're working a full-time job, this is available to everybody, but they just don't know it's available. Remember, I talked about earlier about that having that slavery mindset. Well, how to keep somebody a slave? You keep information away from them. That's how you do it. You keep information away from people. You keep them blinded, and you don't talk about things like this. But I'm sharing it with you. I'm going to be the one to share with you, and hopefully you take this information and share it with someone else. All right. Well, this is a W-4. Okay, this is a W-4, and the exemption I'm talking about is line D. Okay, talking about the number of dependents. Now you can change this number to as high as 9. As high as 9, you can put this number up to, and the higher the number, the more exempt you are, and the less taxes you pay on your paycheck. All right. Now I know people say, "Well, I don't have 9 dependents." Listen, it's over. Check with a tax professional, and they will tell you this. Yes, you can make these changes, but there's something that you're going to have to do. All right. Now, in order for this to be legal, and it's legal to change, but in order for it to be legal all the way through when it's tax time, there's something that you must do. All right. This extra income is not to support your lifestyle. It's so you can create the financial freedom that you desire. Now, that extra income that's on your check, say for instance, you were making $500 a month or $500 a week, and then you make your exemption change, and now all of a sudden you're making $550 a week. Well, that $50, if there wasn't any talk about a raise or any bonuses, that $50 is the change on your W-4. Now that $50, there's something you're going to have to do with it, which is very, very, very important, but it's also very huge. And at the end of this presentation, you're going to find out how you're going to get access to this entire training. This entire training is so powerful, so powerful, so powerful that you're gonna look differently at your job. It's not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to work. It's gonna be like, oh my goodness, I can use my job to set myself free. Okay, I can use my job to set myself free. And you're gonna want to tell everyone else that you work with about this process. All right. Now, this is Arius Walker. I'm at Arius on Periscope. It's a live streaming app by Twitter. I was on Periscope doing a training about the W-4 change, and she was on that she just happened to log in that day on that training. And after that, a couple of days later, I spoke with her on the phone, and we connected. She's like, "You mean all this time I could have been getting more back on my paycheck and then using it to benefit me towards my financial freedom?" And she was like, "All this time?" And I said, yes. And so needless to say, Arius made some changes, and just that small change has really, changed her outlook And not to say that her job has gotten any better, but she thinks differently now. When she goes there, she's like, man, every week every week, or I think every 2 weeks, when she gets paid, that extra income she gets back on there, she's applying it to her financial freedom process. And yes, Aria's got the entire four master steps to financial freedom package, and that investment she made in herself has completely changed her process, completely changed how she thinks about her income and where she works. All right, so that's step number 2. Now, step number 3, okay, another source of income. So if you remember back in step 1, when I was talking about the financial defense process, I was talking about adding another source of income. All right, I was asking about another source of income. I was talking about another source of income to accelerate your process. So living on one source of income is financial suicide, but 90% of people do it. Piece of advice that I want to tell people: don't let the additional source of income be another job, especially if you already have one. Now, I'm not saying anything's wrong with having a second job, but for a lot of individuals, the job you have is enough headache. Okay, and hopefully after watching step number 2, hopefully you're like, okay, I have this job, gives me less of a headache. But having another job, you're going to be using a lot of that income to just pay for the job. I mean, extra gas, you may have to purchase some extra clothing. There may be some extra daycare costs involved. There'll be a loss of sleep, loss of social life. There's so much loss there, but I'm not saying not to do it. This is just my piece of advice, just a suggestion, okay? Now, one thing I will suggest is that your additional source of income should allow you to earn a profit, all right? It should allow you to earn a profit, all right? Because profits are better than wages. Profits are better than wages. So wages earn your living, which is fine, but profits earn you a fortune, which is super fine. All right, profits are better than wages. You do something, you earn a profit. You invest some time, you earn a profit back. All right, you invest a little bit of income, you earn a profit back. So your additional source of income should be to where you earn a profit. So having multiple sources of income is like having a safety net. When one income isn't working or one income is lost, all right, you can focus on another one to grow. You can grow that other source of income. So my suggestion, if you don't have one already, is to start or join a business, because there's so many great things that you have access to when you start a business. All right, there's something very powerful about starting a business, or even joining a business to that effect. I talked earlier about taxes. We're going to get into that in a little bit. You can create so much opportunity, not just for yourself, but for other people. You can create so much opportunity for your family, for your spouse, for your children, when you start to join a business as your additional income source. All right. So if you decide to get this entire program, we're gonna give you a slew of additional income sources that you can choose from, and some of them you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. There's some of the income sources in there that I took advantage of, and I was like, I didn't know that I even had it in me to do that, but it's working. It's definitely working. All right. So why don't people build more streams of income? Why is it something that isn't taught? Why are we always just talking about, it's the same things they're talking about today, jobs and taxes, jobs. Every politician, we're going to have better schools, and we're going to fix the taxes, and we're going to have better schools, and we're going to fix the taxes. It's the same thing all the time. Why do they keep talking about that? Why do they talk about adding more jobs and taxes? Because they know that the people that are working the jobs pay the most taxes. They know this. So how do you keep a slave a slave? A slave a slave. You keep them blind to the information. You keep the real information away from them. Okay, but what happens when somebody who knows the information starts sharing it? Oh, right. Just joking, just joking. But really, but most people just don't know what to do. You know, they tried a few things, but didn't stick with them, or they didn't have help. You know, some people are scared to take risks. But one thing I learned is that the biggest risk is not taking one, or the biggest ones of them all is that they're just plain lazy. All right, they just don't want to get up and do anything, and they hope that things change. They hope the economy changes. They hope their boss it becomes more generous. They hope that politics change. They hope that the next president is going to give them all they want, or whomever the next big league is going to give them all they want. They just sit around being lazy, hoping that they win the lottery or something like that. But guess what? They don't realize that they're going to have to make those changes. They're going to go out there and learn what they have to do. But the good thing is that there's information like this out there that they can have access to at least have a start. All right, that's one of the biggest reasons I want to put this together is just give someone a start. You know, maybe they don't use everything, but they're like, oh man, I never thought of that. All right, I've had so many aha moments since 2002. You know, just being on a presentation like this, or sitting down with the individual, and you're like, man, I never thought about that. And then you realize that you don't know everything, and that you always have to continue to keep learning. And that's what this is for. Is that you're like, man, you know what? I never thought about that, and it just kind of gives you something that you can take that aha moment and build from there. Okay. So this is one of my mentors, Miss Taria Vision Avant. And she's an awesome individual. For a long time, she only had one stream of income. Excuse me. It was her home-based business, and she was doing extremely well in this business. I mean, absolutely extremely well. I've seen her speak before. She was doing well over $100,000 a year, but she realized that something could happen to this income. All right, she began to think like, wow, well, what if one day this income stops, or something happens to the company that I'm working with, and all of a sudden everything is gone? So she made a decision. She made a decision, and she added three more income streams. All right, she started her own business group, because from this business, she created a nice following. She wrote a book, and that book, told her story, and that brought in another source of income, and she became a public speaker. All right, and I've seen her speak several times. So she took some risks. She was like, well, this something may happen to this, so she took some risks and added some more streams of income. Today, those risks are paying off, and she is still financially free. Okay, how many people do you know right now who have high five-figure and six-figure jobs, and they're like, oh, this is gonna last forever, but guess what? Something happens. There were times where top executives were losing the big jobs, and now some of those top executives are managing places that they never thought they would be in, and but at that time they thought it was going to last forever. But guess what? If they would have known, or would have been taught, or knew about a presentation like this to add some more streams of income, guess what? When this went away, they could build on this and keep things right on rolling. That's the power behind having multiple streams of income. And again, I'm going to show you how you can get access to this entire training, so that you'll have some places that you can start on and start from and start building upon. All right. We are having a good time on this webinar. I'm really having an awesome time with you all. So definitely want to thank you for being here. So let's go on to step number 4. Woo! Those taxes. So again, this is something that's more U.S. specific, but wherever you live, apply this to find out what your tax situation is if you don't live in the United States. But this is something that's very huge. All right, taxes are paid everywhere. Okay, so one thing I learned by Mr. Ron Mueller, he said, when your tax deductions increase, your tax savings and returns will increase, thus resulting in a pay raise. Okay, you can give yourself a pay raise by making some small changes. All right, so just want to kind of give you some things to lead up to the information that one of the things that the wealthy do, and they do very well, And why they're able to keep more of their income is because they understand how to save on taxes. And I'm not talking about the individuals who do it the wrong way. I'm not talking about tax evasion or loopholes and things of that nature. I'm talking about individuals that understand how to save on taxes. And as I stated before, taxes is our biggest bill, especially for those who are working a job. So how do we actually save on taxes? Well, I'm going to give you at least a few examples, but one of the simplest ways for those of you that are still working or working a full-time job or not, maybe you're not working a full-time job, is to have a home business, a home-based business. The key word here is business. This is one of the easiest and simplest ways to save on taxes, whether you're working or not. Whether you're working or not, having a home-based business, all right, is going to be the greatest way to save on taxes. When you have a business, you control the taxes. When you have a job, you pay taxes first, then you pay your bills, and then you pay you. When you have a business, you pay you, then your bills become business expenses, and then you pay the taxes. All right, I'm going to say this again. When you're working a full-time job, all right, first you pay your taxes, then you pay your bills, then you pay you. All right, but when you have a business, you pay you, and then a lot of those bills now become business expenses, and then you pay your taxes. And so that's why this is so powerful. But this is one of the simplest ways to save on your taxes. All right. Now, home-based business could be a consulting service you do from your home, a daycare service you do in your home, a network marketing business you do from your home, or any business you conduct in and from your home. Now, when it comes to things like consulting services, daycare services, or what have you that you do from your home, you want to make sure that you have the proper documentation, all right, that says, okay, this is a legitimate business. You do a network marketing business from your home, it's just that, hey, you're a part of that network marketing company, and thus, when you attach either your social security number or whatever business number you have to it, that will constitute you as the business, all right? So by having a home business, I'm gonna tell you some things that you could do when you have a home business. You can qualify for thousands of tax savings. You can convert some of your personal expenses into business expenses. You can write off furniture in your home. Yes, that couch that your kid jump up and down on, you can write that off. You can hire your children and your spouse and get huge tax benefits. All right. So I'm gonna pause right there for 1 second. One of my mentors that I've known for years, he said this a long time ago. He said, parents, why don't you start a business? Why don't you start a business and hire your children? He said, why would you have them go out there and fight for a job? All those millions of people out there trying to get that one job. Why don't you create a job for them? And people were sitting in that room, just perplexed. Like, I never thought about that. I never thought about that, right? But guess what? How do you keep a slave a slave? You keep information away from you. Keep them blinded to the real information. But yes, you can hire your children and your spouse and get huge tax benefits. You can turn vacations into business trips and learn how to write them off. And you can get a second refund on tax returns that you already filed. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can get a second tax return once you understand how this works. You can be like, man, I missed out on so many savings. But yes, you can get a second return on a second refund on the taxes that you already filed. All right. Now, there's a book out there that I'm going to show you how you can get access to. And if you want to get it yourself, you can, or there's a way you can get it for free as well, too. I mean, this book is absolutely phenomenal. It's called Home-Based Business Tax Savings Made Easy. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you the first few pages of this book. So what you want to do is do you want to copy this. You can do a print screen. If you're on your laptop or your computer, there's a button that says PRT SC. And you just hit that button, and then you can go over to a Word document and then paste it on the Word document. That way you can have this just to read. And it's just a little bit of information to lead up, just something you can have for free. But this book is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm in the process of reading it for a third time, just to make sure I got all the information. But this is the first page. So, and if you're on your phone, you watch this on your phone, do a screenshot. However your phone allows you to do a screenshot, do the screenshot. Okay, however your phone allows you to do a screenshot, do the screenshot. All right. So I'm gonna give you a couple more pages. So there's the second page I'm gonna give you. So on your computer, you want, if there's a button that says PRT, capital PRT, capital SC, and that's called print screen. And then you can copy it, that copies the screen, and you can paste it on a Word document, and that way you have the information. All right, you can just read through it yourself. But this, I mean, this is just some great information to lead up to. Here's another page. Same thing. If you're on your phone, you want to do a screen share. Not screen share. You want to do a screenshot. You want to do a screenshot if you're on your phone. All right. Here's the next page. All right. Print screen, and then paste it on the Word document. If you're on your phone, do a screenshot. All right. Or if you have your phone, just take a picture of the screen. If you have to, if you don't, if you're having trouble with the print the print screen button. All right, a screen print button. Okay. Another page. All right. This was really good, especially this right here. When you start reading about this, really good, really good. This is gonna help a lot of individuals. There's another page. All right, just some great free value for you. Because I'm a nice guy, and I'm just joking. But all right. There's one more page. All right, make sure you can take a picture of the screen. You can do screen print or screenshot, or yeah, screenshot on your phone. All right, and one more page. I think it's the last one. Okay, so just later on after this presentation, just read through it, and it's gonna start clicking. You're like, wow, this is some really good stuff. I mean, this book is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, awesome. Now that's the name of the book, Home Business Tax Savings Made Easy. All right, by Mr. Ron Mueller. Get access to this book. It's the best tax savings book out there. And if you want to get access to it yourself, you can go to this site right here, thevaluenaire.mlspsites.com. And then at the top, you want to click on tax savings. And that's my coupon code right there, the Valuenaire. The Valuenaire is my coupon code. That way you can get access to this book. And I want to show you how you can get this book for free. All right. And it'll come right from me for free. I'll show you get it for free. All right. There you go. You have an opportunity to get this book for free. Okay. Now, this is some bonus areas I want you to not start thinking about, but start really looking into, is having an investment and a retirement plan. Okay. Having an investment plan is that, while you're building freedom, these are plans you can invest into that's going to help your money grow. All right. And that's why these are simple things, like simple 401ks and self-employed accounts and things of that nature that you're going to want to start placing income into, that where your income can start working for you. And then having retirement plans. There's retirement plans through insurance and things of that nature is going to help, save for the later years. Now, these areas are important as you're working towards your financial freedom. One day you're just going to want to kick back and relax and enjoy your work and have your money work for you. Now, I'm not a professional in these areas, although I do know someone that is professional in these areas that I can connect you with. Make sure you do your research on these areas and get professional help. But this is not so well, you not look into it now. Absolutely right now. And if you decide to get the entire program, I'm going to give you access to one of the best individuals in this area. Okay. Next you want to start looking into is credit. All right. This is one of the reasons that the middle class is disappearing, is because about 80% of people in the middle class, they're in crazy debt. And it was all a setup. It was all a setup to get to this point. Buy this, buy that. You need this, you need this, you need that. Get this house. And then everything comes crumbling down because people can't afford all this stuff that people were telling them to get. And so now the middle class is slowly, most of those individuals are falling to the poor side, and as the richer gets richer. But I'm here to share with you some information that to help bring this area back. And it's a process. It's called debt filtration. All right, that can help you filtrate the bad debt. It's not credit repair, it's debt filtration. And this is something that a lot of people don't know about. And when I found this out, I said, everybody needs to know about this. It's called, oh my goodness, and it can help you raise your credit score by 150 points in the first 90 days. And even if, even if it was you that opened that line of credit, I mean, it's called debt filtration. It's a series of laws that have to be followed, and these laws aren't followed by that creditor or whomever. It's filtrated out forever. And when I said, excuse me, what? So, yep. But again, how to keep a slave a slave? You keep the information away from them. Keep it. So, but I'm here to give it to you. Here to give you this information, and I'm going to show you how you can get access to debt filtration. Oh my goodness, it's a great process. All right. So let's recap. Step number 1, get your income on a plan. All right. Get up that non-planned plan. Step number 2, that small change, big results on your paycheck. All right. Step number 3, excuse me, get an extra income source. All right. Especially a profit earning source. And then step number 4, save on your taxes. And the bonuses, yes, you get access to those too. Okay. So now here's your opportunity to get the entire program. All right. What I just gave you was just some things that's going to, and you can use this. You can definitely use it if you've been following along, you've been, copying, the screens or what have you. It's going to really give you some things to think about. We're going to start giving some things for you to research. But here's your opportunity to get the entire program where every step is going to go into everything in more depth. I'm talking about there's going to be at least 2 or 3 videos on each level of how to make this work for you. Okay, you're going to have the most in-depth training on all 4 steps. All right, so module 1, get your income plan training. It's called financial defense. It's going to be in a 2-video series. One plan talks about how to do with your company. The second video is going to talk about when you add an additional income source to that plan. It's going to come complete with the financial calculator spreadsheet. That's Excel spreadsheet. When you watch the video and then you put into the Excel spreadsheet, the numbers automatically calculate. So you don't have to do any writing. You get a chance to see your progress throughout the year. The amount you're going to invest in this program is going to be absolutely worth it. I'm talking about that alone is worth it. All right. Module 2 is that you're going to get the complete plan on what to do with your increased paycheck. All right. After your W-4 change, this is powerful. And, once you get this training, you learn and you apply it, you're going to start looking at, for those individuals still working, you're going to start looking at where you work just a little bit differently, just a tad bit differently. When you go to work, you're going to be like, I now have a plan of what this place is for. It's not to get on my nerves. I have a plan now, and you're going to want to share this with everybody. I'm telling you right now, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people on your, where you work that you're trying to talk to about certain things and they just don't want to listen. But when you start speaking people's languages, then they start listening to what you have to say. All right. Also, number 3, what it really means to have a home business and multiple streams of, about the power of network marketing. Why so many people get involved and why everyone should have a network marketing business under their financial. And we're going to take of income. This is going to be really good. It's going to give you a lot of great ideas to think about, some places that you can go from. So you're going to have a lot of aha moments like, oh my gosh, I never realized that I could do something like that. But this module is going to be really good. And then piecing all together is giving you access to the very best home-based tax business information. I gave you access to a couple pages there, but this entire book is phenomenal. I'm telling you, everyone should have this book. Everyone. If you pay taxes, this is the best investments you make in yourself. Don't go any further without getting this information. Okay. Now you can get. I didn't mean to do that. I do it every time. There we go. I want to make sure I'm still on here. Okay, good. I should be still on. All right. Now you can get access to this entire training, all right, for $47. It's a one-time payment of $47. One-time payment, $47. You're gonna get access to all 4 modules, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be. And then also, you're gonna have access to our monthly newsletter. Every month, a newsletter goes out with just, I mean, just some amazing value that's gonna help you in your financial freedom transition. All right, I mean, every month is new. It's gonna be new value, not the same old stuff. Is gonna be every month something that's gonna be that you can have access to great information. It's going to lead you over to other great information. It's going to lead you over to other great information. But one-time payment of $47 is going to give you access to this training module. And I'm telling you, you definitely want to make sure that you get your hands on this. All right. Now, when you get, all right, when you get this program and you share it, you know, you get your own personal program and you share it. And if you share with other individuals and 2 people get the program through you, then I will send you this book for free. All right, I will send you the book for free, and that way you'll be able to have access to this information. We've already had a lot of people share this program with other individuals, and they've gotten their books for free. So I definitely want to make sure I do the same thing for you. So if you're interested in this, you can email me right there at thefinancialdefense@gmail.com and put in the subject free tax book. Okay, and I'll make sure that you know, we discuss how this can work for you, and that way you can get your book for free. Okay, so definitely thank you for watching. I look forward to connecting and working with you. You know, remember, the best investment you can make is in you. That's the best investment you can make, is in yourself. That's the very best investment. So I hope this was very informative to you. Hold on one second. And I'm going to ask you all a couple questions, if you could answer them for me. You know, did you get value from this? You know, if this is valuable for you, let me know. It just lets you know, and to keep moving forward. You know, make sure I make this better for everyone. And if it wasn't valuable to you, then, you know, you can put no as well too. It's completely okay. But I definitely just want to, you know, make sure that what I share was valuable. And if it's not, you know, I have to go back to the drawing board. You know, find what areas that I can improve upon. But one thing that you definitely want to make sure you do is pick up the training. You definitely want to have access to the 4 Master Steps of Financial Freedom, that complete training. Each module has you know, 2 or 3 videos that are going to really go in depth, great information that you can start using, applying, and sharing in your life. All right. So, but if this is valuable to you, let me know. I really appreciate you all being on here, and I have opened up the chat. So if anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to connect with me. All right, the poll is out there, so the chat is open. All right. Well, I definitely want to thank everybody for being on with me. Look forward to speaking with you all very soon. Look forward to connecting with you all. All right. But again, if you want to learn how to get this program for free, you can email me there at thefinancialdefense@gmail.com. And you know, once you have your program, you know, we can show you how you can get your tax book for free, or you can get it yourself as well if you don't want to wait on that. But again, definitely want to thank you all for being on this presentation. I really appreciate you attending. And if no one has any questions, we are going to get out of here. I know that individuals have things to do, but definitely want to thank you for being on here. I am on Facebook, you know, facebook.com /Marlon T. Hurd, or Hurd's LLC. And that way you know, you can reach out to me on Facebook. But again, definitely want to thank you for being on here, and we'll be talking with you all soon.